Guys, today we are making beef and broccoli for dinner. Keto beef and broccoli. So it is low carb, it is keto, and it is something that your whole family will enjoy, whether they're keto or not. So let's go ahead and get straight into the video. But before we do, if you are new here and you have not subscribed to the channel and you do enjoy low carb and keto recipes, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and then turn on your post notifications so that you can be notified when a new video comes out. But let's get into making this beef and broccoli right now. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to start off by making our broccoli, and then we're just going to set that to the side. So I'm using fresh broccoli today, and I went ahead and cut that into little florets, any size that you want. You can also use frozen broccoli for this. I've made it both ways. I just happen to have fresh, so I'm adding in a pound of fresh cut broccoli to a pot that is on medium heat. I'm also going to add in a cup of water to the bottom of the pan. The water does not have to cover the broccoli at all, as long as the entire bottom of the pot is covered with water. Then we're going to put the lid back on the pot so that the broccoli can steam. Okay, so my broccoli took about 15 minutes to get as tender as I wanted it. Now I'm going to take it out, put it in a strainer, put it over a bowl. I don't want my broccoli sitting in water because I don't want it to get soggy. So I'm just going to put this in the strainer, then we can set it to the side, and then we'll go ahead and continue with the rest of the recipe and add it back in at the end. And look how nice and green that broccoli looks. And like I said, it's going to depend if you're using frozen broccoli, fresh broccoli, if you're adding in a lot of broccoli, a little bit of broccoli, and then how tender you like it, or if you like it more on the crispy side. So 15 minutes for me, but maybe check it at 10 to see if it is the way that you want it, or if you need to give it some more time. And then after you check that the first time you make it, you'll have a better idea of how long it takes to get the way you want it. So now let's go ahead and move on with the rest of the recipe, and we're going to add in about a tablespoon of olive oil or whatever oil that you normally use. We're going to add that to the pot. Alright, so we have our pot is nice and hot now, and I'm adding in a tablespoon of minced garlic, and we are just going to let that cook for just a few minutes until it gets nice and fragrant, and that's going to be about 3 to 4 minutes. And then we can move on to the next step. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our meat to the pot. You can use any kind of steak meat that you want. I happen to have London broil. That is what I'm using, and I just went ahead and cut it up in small pieces, thinly sliced. If you want the pieces a little larger, you can do that. This is your meal, so you can cut it any way that you want. So the first thing that we can add in is pepper. You can at this point add in salt if you want to, but personally for me, because of the soy sauce and things, I don't add in salt until the very end. So then the second thing that we are going to add to this is we're going to add in ginger. Here I have half a teaspoon of ginger. If you really like ginger, you can add in a teaspoon of ginger. I'm not a huge fan of ginger, so I'm only adding in half a teaspoon, but definitely add in a teaspoon if you really love ginger. And mix that all in. So the more you cook it in the liquid, the more tender the meat is going to get. So I am probably going to I cooked mine for about 30 minutes, so you might want to cook it for 20 or 30 minutes, but again, it's going to depend on how you like it. But let's go ahead and start by adding in 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, and then I have 2 tablespoons of sesame oil that I'm going to add in. Next, we're going to add in 1/4 cup of beef broth. And here I'm adding in half a cup of, this is where you'll add in your soy sauce or your coconut aminos, depending on what you prefer to use. I'm using coconut aminos right now, but we do make it both ways. We make it with soy sauce sometimes and sometimes with coconut aminos. And then here I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of brown sugar replacement, brown sugar sweetener, and I'm using the monk fruit golden, so whatever you have. You don't have to use brown. If you only have the white granulated sweetener, then you can use that too, if you don't have the brown. And then I'm also adding in some xanthan gum, and this is about half a teaspoon. And if you're not familiar with xanthan gum, it's just a thickener, so it will thicken your sauces and things. You just have to be very careful how you use it, and add it in really slowly and a little bit at a time, and don't add in too much. Just do about half a teaspoon of it, and then give it a mix until it is well dissolved in your sauce. Alright, and now we're checking our meat, and it's at this time now where I like to come back and check and just kind of test it out to see how tender the meat is. So give your meat a taste, make sure it's not too tough, and if it is a little bit tough, just let it cook a little bit longer. Like I said, for me, I let mine cook for about 30 minutes, so just kind of let it cook for 15 and check it, and then, go from there. Okay, so now that we're done, let's add our broccoli back into the beef mixture and just toss it together, get it all nice and mixed in. And that is the last step, you guys. So this is a really simple recipe that you can make during the week on a work night. It is a pretty quick meal that you can probably make in under 30 minutes or so if you have your meat and everything ready. I normally cut mine the night before, and so that it's all ready to go, but however you want to do it. So now that we have it all mixed in, now let's go ahead and grab a plate, and I'm just going to go ahead and plate this for you so you can see what it looks like. This recipe, again, is very easy, and you don't have to be keto to enjoy this recipe. Your non-keto family will like it too. For my family, we eat it over cauliflower rice. My teenage son, I just make him some white rice to go under there. So I give it to him with some white rice, and we eat it with cauliflower rice. Alright, so here we have a plate with cauliflower rice, and we're just going to scoop up some beef and broccoli and put that right on top. For your non-keto family that don't eat cauliflower rice, then serve it with some regular white rice for them, or tell them to make their own dinner. Just joking. But yeah, so this is going to be a pretty filling meal. It's a pretty easy meal. It's not hard to make at all. And, my teenage son loves it. Top it with some sesame seeds to make it look really nice, and to give it some additional flavor. And there you go, beef and broccoli. Keto beef and broccoli. And then one thing I meant to show you guys earlier that I forgot to show you was I just wanted to show you what options you have for making this beef and broccoli. So it just depends on what fits into your diet. You have regular soy sauce, so you can make it with regular soy sauce, or you can, if you use liquid aminos. Okay, and then you also have here coconut aminos, which is what we're using tonight, but we alternate between them, so we don't always use coconut aminos. We like them both ways. They just taste different, so we switch it up. So if you enjoyed this recipe, please give it a like, and I will see you on the next video.